Hello, hello, hello. Buenos dias, familia. Hello. So wonderful to be here with you today. Happy, blessed, feliz 11/11. My name is Cristina Maria Rojas Fernandez, Hummingbird Medicine. And I'm really excited to be here today. And thank you so much for your patience with me getting on live. This is new for me. This is very, very new, and I'm excited about the newness, but a little bit wonky tonky time. So I appreciate the patience, and I appreciate the stillness as we wait. So in honor of today and all that we will do, I have an outline and all, and I have some blessed gifts. But to start, I kind of like to just take a moment, have a little bit of Savila, good old sage that we know so well, opening space and really bringing in this essence of wellness and this essence of breath and this essence of clearing and releasing and opening to that which we all are. And if you read the program, that's what we're doing today. We're divine masculine and divine feminine eternal harmony. So I'm going to just make sure that I shut off my phone and make sure that y'all can hear me. Good. And let's make sure I'm on. Okay, it is off. On. Good. So why don't we come into space together and let us take in our full breath and bring into alignment our hearts and our center and all the divine knowing and wisdom that we are. I know these blessed ways, the plants and the knowing. So I'd like us to just breathe in to ourselves, closing your eyes. That's a really blessed idea. And allowing ourselves to really call in the wisdom and all the knowing and all the ways. Just move through your regular breath. Just kind of like get comfortable in your space, in your seat. We're going to be here for a little while. And now together, taking a deep breath in. And then exhale out. Deep breath in. And then exhale out. Taking another deep breath in and feeling your entire body as you breathe it in, feeling your legs on the ground. Or if you're sitting on the floor, your buttocks, making sure that you're feeling grounded from below, putting up all that energy through your spine and your body. And as you release it, allowing yourself to have an expansion from above, feeling the length in your spine and your shoulders softened. Continuing your breath at your pace, allowing the uppers, the cosmos, all that light that you are shining without, through within, allowing it to expand above you with your breath, allowing yourself to illuminate with your breath, with your innate knowing and wisdom for your life source, that you are that divine illumination, that you are eternal harmony of your divine masculine and divine femininity, that you are, that you are, that you are. Coming back to breath together, inhaling in. Inhaling out. Taking an inhale in. Exhale out. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Inhale in. Exhale out. Focusing on your breath as it inhales and exhales, as your chest contracts and expands like your heart. The contractions are small and light, and the expanses are large and full of light, allowing us to vision and to connect with this day, to connect with this illuminating essence and with the plants that will accompany us. Allowing already the energy and the source of the divine masculine through Ginkgo Biloba to come into the mind, to open it and already create the pathways of circulation. Neural pathways opening. Logic, reasoning. Breathing in, breathing out. Bringing the divine wisdom of the feminine through Artemisia Vulgaris, aka Cronewort, Mugwort, the elder of the words. Bringing her into the blessed womb, into the blessed place, the reproductive center of humans, and bringing that space of rosa, rose, that binds it all together in the within, in the center, feeling it in your heart as you connect with your breath, bringing in the divine wisdom of above to below to within, through these blessed sacred plants that teach us the spirit medicine that we are. Coming into our last breaths together, inward, outward exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Hold it. Feeling the essence of all that we are. Exhaling all that gets in the way, that has moved through, for it no longer is needed, for it has done its job. One last breath. A nice exhale. Calling to the divine wisdoms, allowing us to stay in this place, in this sacred space, in this knowing. We call to the spirits and the guardians of the seven directions, los bellos, los conocidos, los ancestros, los antiguos, that come into form, that are here to come to remind us of what pure embodiment means. We call to you, blessed ones, in the ethers and in the depths of the grounds, which is our body, which is our internal being here on this earth. We call to you, blessed ones of the seven directions, spirit guides and power animals, to accompany us on this journey in this blessed space of work and ceremony, learning how to do it all in one, for that's what we have come to do and to express. That is our soul's work, to be in full harmony with all. We call to the spirits and power animals of the east, the blessed place of the winged ones, of the hawk eyes, the eyes that show all, that go high up so that we can see it from afar, and that we can come fresh in with a clear mind, open breath, the place of Ginkgo Biloba, que abre and opens to the knowing, the circulatory wisdom, free of clutter, free of chatter, full of life breath, the place of beginnings in the east. We call you to accompany us and to bless our space today, to bring this forth into all we do every way. Blessed be Ohan. Calling into the divine space and the divine beings, spirits, and guardians and power animals of the West, the place of medicine bear, that place of divine wisdom, divine femininity of Artemisia. She who is the moon goddess, who opens us to the wisdom of our womb, reproductive center, the place where we feel, where we emote, the place of our creative center, lo que nos abre, the expansion and the feeling and the place of our soul, that place that we came to know, that we came to express from, that divine wisdom that we are. We call to you, blessed ones of this way, of the West, of the waters, of the depths, to allow us, to guide us on this journey in this sacred circle, and to illuminate us our way forward in all that we do, bringing the source and the warrior wisdom and the internal grounding, centering, and knowing of Artemisia into our life. In all ways, we call to you, blessed ones of this direction, to guide us, to show us in all of our days. Blessed be Ohan. Calling to the spirits and the guardians and the power animals of the South, el lugar de adonde viene la luz primordial, the ever essence of fire, the fire in the sky, the illuminating summertime, the free, the wild, the child. Rose, Rosa, the place of infinite rose, the place of passion, the place of the inner child, masculine and feminine, for we are it. That is coming into pure illumination. We call to you, energies, blessed ones of the South, Jaguar, Coyote. We call to you, transformative spirits, Hayoka, to show us the ways, all the colors, and to allow us to be in peace and love with them. We call to you, fire in the sky, fire in our being, to guide us in this journey in that illuminated, transformative way that you do in all of our days. Blessed be Ohan. Calling to the spirits and the guardians and the power animals of the North, el lugar de nuestro cuerpo, our divine wisdom, our divine knowing, our innate intelligence as green people, green ones, la gente de medicina de este tiempo que traen la sabiduría de la madre, del padre, de la abuela, del abuelo. We call to you, ancestors of this land. We call to you, elders who have come before and have trailblazed, who are showing us in our dreams, who are opening us to our roots, who are expanding us in our bodies for full embodiment to take place. We call to you, blessed ones. We call to the place of the colibri, the hummingbird. We call to the place of the mountain, the generous wisdom of the groundedness and expansion. We call to the natural order, Madre Naturaleza, Gaia, that she all knows, that we all come from, that we all return to, the space that is the commonality of human divinity. We call to you, blessed ones, to illuminate us in our circle today and to carry us in all of our ways, recognizing, igniting, nourishing our knowing. Blessed be Ohan, Mateo. Llamando los espíritus y guardianes from below, the ancestors who hold us strong, who we do not see, but who carry us through, who guide us with that infinite light from below, calling us, reminding us the time of the ancestors is always. They do not show themselves, for it is for us to go deep within to allow them to illuminate the wisdom that we are, for that we can embody them, the place of the depths of our shadow that is only asking for our love and our light to come in and to bring it into that wholeness. We call to you, blessed ones below our feet, ancestros divinos, ancestros poderosos, ancestros que nos caminan por esos lugares misteriosos. Gracias. We call to you to illuminate the ways in all of our days. Blessed be Ohan. Llamando al infinito, to the eternal ways of above, to that shining, glowing, cosmic light, that brings forth all of that wisdom, that cosmic knowing, that ancient form, the place of planetary knowledge where we all come from the stars. We call to you, illuminated essence in the skies, to brightly open up the divine crystalline knowing that we are, to bring forth the wisdom and embodiment through these plants, through these ways, through the sacred medicine ways that we are as the humans on this earth, for we are God. We call to you to illuminate that into us, to show us our divinity in all forms in that transformative spirit. Thank you, ascended ones, divine masters, illuminated ones in the sky, for your cosmic openness. Please guide us on this circle today and in all of our wisdoms and all of our days, and every molecule, DNA, rainbow in our being. Allow us to illuminate that cosmic knowing always. Gracias. Blessed be, O Han. Bringing that energy right into the depths of within. Taking a deep breath and exhaling out. Feeling the groundedness below, the extendedness above, and the depths of center from within. Calling to the spirits and the guardians of all that we are, of the divine mystery, of all that is, to the place of source, Great Spirit Creatrix, God, Goddess, all it goes by, whatever it is termed for each individual and for our collective essence to know that we are it. Calling to the space of birth, of life, of death, and rebirth. Calling to the space of expansion and contraction. Calling to the wisdoms that we carry and our uniqueness, and that we've come to share, and that we've come to bring into wholeness and oneness with each other, the place of togetherness. We call to you, blessed spirit guides and power animals of the ways of within. Open us and illuminate us in our circle, and may this circle expand out infinitely, bringing forth the infinite wisdom of humanity. All that we've come to do, all that we've come to see. Bringing the essence of the medicinas that we are, of our soul, of our wisdom, of our stars, of our nights, of our days, of all of our ways, into harmony, eternal harmony, divine love, that which humans are made of. We call to you, blessed ones of the center, Todopoderoso, all that we are, blessed be, call to thee. Bringing in that medicine, anchoring in that spirit, anchoring in the soul, anchoring in the mind, anchoring in the body, and expanding and contracting, and being in the center of eternal harmony, divine love. We call to you, blessed ones who will guide us today and in all of our ways. Blessed be, O Han Mateo. Hola, hola, hola. Very, very, very grateful, and thank you so much for accompanying me in that prayer and for us praying together. And that is this medicine and these ways. And we're a good 20 minutes in already. And I just want to speak a little bit about about our space. And I know it was very real and very expanded. So I'm grateful when it happens organically like that, and that the prayer comes out, because this is one of the things that we're learning as a humanity, to honor the ways that we are, and to honor them just in the natural organic form. The way that Ginkgo Biloba honors Artemisia. The way that Rose is a comprehensive gatherer. And the way that the hip of Rose honors the petals. And the way the petals honor the prickles. You know, all within the same being, but all working harmoniously together. So a couple of housekeeping. This is sacred space, so let us move in that way. This is a workshop, kind of, that evolved into this cosmic circle. That is also a sacred circle. Time where we will share, and you're welcome to bring questions and comments and interactive. And I'll do my best, because this is a first for me. So doing it like this, it reminds me of the show that I had. I had a talk show, but it's very different live, and to see myself here, have all the plants and all the beans, you know, and I have a tendency to morph a bit. So we're going to go step by step here. Very organic. That's how I do it. That's how I like it. And that's how I love to bring people into my being and into my time. So the way that I honor you, and the way that God, Goddess, Divine Spirit honors us, let us honor each other in that way. So let us have that honoring, and the way that we even share, the way that we comment, the way that we speak, the wisdom of our words, and our curiosity is all welcome here. Yeah, and I'll just keep going. I have this little list here, but I really don't want to pick it up yet, because I like this free flow. So I appreciate that. I appreciate this knowing, and a little bit of the rhythm today. We'll do just what we did. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do. We'll talk about what spirit medicine is, and I'll put on my glasses, most likely, human eyes, because I need that sometimes for paper and to see chats coming in and things like that. And we'll do a couple of exercises in between. So all with this larger prayer, eternal harmony in the divine masculine, divine feminine. We'll get to that in the later part of this circle. And we'll talk about the plants pretty in depth. And we'll go through healing properties. We'll go through spirit properties. We'll go through energetics. We'll go through some folk medicine, folklore. And we'll go to the part that I like the most, which is listening to them. I like it like that. So we'll have a little bit of everything. And then we'll move into like a really luminous field of that which is this divine time at 11:11, and bring it all together, integrative. And what happens in between is what happens in between. I trust spirit, and spirit medicine is never let me down yet. So welcome. Welcome to the Herbal Plant Spirit Medicine mini workshop. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who don't formally know me, or have known me and are knowing me again now for this time and in this way, I'm Christina Maria. And my medicine name is Hummingbird Medicine. And I was gifted that name when I graduated from my apprenticeship program, a medicine way program with Irma Star Spirit Turtle Woman, a blessed abuelita medicine woman who carries the elder wisdoms and these ancestral ways, shamanic medicine ways in her heart and on her being. And I've been on this path of indigenous traditional medicine, and I've had this practice of spirit medicine ways now for several years. I want to say since I started the walk about 4 years ago, maybe even 5. And I started by taking a sabbatical. So really short. I am a social worker by trade in my Western life, Western profession. And I have about 18 years there of service in all the fields, right? Counseling to supportive psychodynamic to methadone clinics to children and family programs, to sports, to older adults, to psychiatric manifestations. That was my last one. That's actually what climaxed me into this way, which is I appreciate that, because that was one of my last things. And as I was moving through my social work history and experience, I realized that I needed psych. And I didn't understand why, but I love the mind, and I love the embodiment of the mind with the soul. And I love the way that the soul is this gateway to the spirit, and the mind and the body are like this machine yet being. It's really fascinating. So I had that psych experience. I was a program coordinator for Visiting Nurse Service of New York. Blessed experience with the assertive community treatment team in the Bronx, and did that for almost 5 years. And then I left the system pretty erratically. It shook me up like spiritual awakenings often do. And I had a couple of those in my life, in my path. And then that took me to Guatemala for a sabbatical, another shakeup. And then it brought me back here. I was on a sabbatical for about 16 months, and I learned a lot of deep wisdoms about indigenous and traditional medicine in my journey in Guatemala. And that's a whole nother conversation. But just in short, and then I came back here, I had a tough time integrating and assimilating and processing. And I was very alone in that process, but very supportive. I've always been supported. I have a lot of beautiful family. I have a lot of humans who love me and who take me in, and they're like, show me the way. Like, and they do it by love, by way of love, and by way of holding me. And I love that. That's like the way that I like. The way it was different. I needed something that I didn't understand, and I was having a very clear split in the way that I was receiving spirit, and in the way that I was living here, and the way that the world was around me. Because we know what the world looks like. It doesn't look like the jungle of Guatemala. So it took me about a year to come back, and that's when healing medicine ways first came up, and transforming gifts. I had a podcast that you can check. I have a Facebook page on it that's kind of like dim, and it very much was this, and it was integrating me every day into this process. And lo and behold, almost 3 years. Very interesting. So we're here now today. And now, instead, I have spirit medicine ways, and spirit medicine ways birthed herbal plant spirit medicine. And herbal plant spirit medicine was actually inspired through the New York Shamanic Circle in my time there as a core member. The New York Shamanic Circle is one of the oldest shamanic circles or organizations in the city of New York, and in this tri-state area. And it's an elder organization. And I'm so grateful. I was a core member for about 2 to 3 years. And it really shifted my life and my experience. And the gifts that I received from there have only expanded out. So herbal plant spirit medicine was built, birthed through there, as well as my work as an herbal plant spirit medicine woman. I apprenticed for 3 years, totally like a doctorate program, with Robin Rose Bennett. It is the Herbal and Earth Spirit Teachings Program. Phenomenal program. I invite anyone who's looking to learn herbal medicine by way of spirit to check her out. She's quite brilliant. And I went to her, and I remember when I was choosing her and how it came to me as a great story, cosmic, fell in my lap, the whole thing, then showed up. Oh, such a great story. I share with you one day over tea. But I remember when I went to her, and I said to myself, and I said, wow, I really want to learn how to talk to plants, how to understand them. What I'm going to share with you, parts of it I'm going to share here with you are written. You can go on to Wikipedia, you can go on to Google, you can go on to WebMD, you can go into healing, Gifts of Healing Herbs, you can go into Susan Weed's book, you can go to Rosemary Gladstar. You don't need me to tell you these things. I can facilitate them for you. I could take the notes and share them with you. But what I found most valuable about my Clear Mountain apprenticeship with Robin Rose was the ability to know my source and my source through plants. And that's what spirit medicine is for me. Spirit medicine is your spirit, plants and living beings or anything of that nature, spirit, coming together to talk, to engage, to invoke, to be. And woof, there's the medicine, because you're the medicine. We are the medicine. And Earth Spirit Teachings is the medicine. And she taught me so well how to listen and to talk and to be and to commune and to receive the plants. So that also inspired, Healing Medicine Ways, then now Spirit Medicine Ways, my practice, indigenous traditional medicine practice, and the workshop. And my journey with Abuelita, ayahuasca, and the Blessed Amazonian Sacred Master Spirit Medicine teachers. I partake with them quite a lot, and I serve them, and I am in high reverence to the ways that the Amazon has gifted us and the people who have brought them and sacredly held them for us, so that the greater collective, especially us in the Western world, el occidental, can receive them. So that grandmother, grand being, sacred brew of the copy vine and the trachuna leaf really showed me a lot of what it meant spirit medicine, and it inspired this. It inspired this talk. It inspired these ways. It inspired everything. It inspires language. It has inspired the whole walk. So I look forward to talking a little bit more and integrating that in, and doing more talks about that and that sacred wisdom. So thank you so much for allowing me to share that story, because this is that. This is the plant spirit medicine wisdoms, and the spirit medicine is Abuelita. And thank you. Gracias, Abuelita. Gracias, medicinas. Gracias, Camino Divino. I'm very grateful to that. Let me connect to my computer, because I'm getting a little flash there and it'll die on us. And let me put on my glasses, my human form. So excuse me as I do that. So hola, hola, hola to the people saying hello. Very open to questions, sharing. We're going to move into now a little bit of the, let me close this, a little bit of the more good stuff that people like, the teachings. So please, this is like a really open forum. So if things come up, you share, you ask, and I'll do my best to help and honor. So this is usually a 2-day workshop. And in this 2-day workshop, we really go into the ways. We go into the ways through what we do here in this small place to larger, grander, really communicate with the spirits of the plants, the spirits of indigenous traditional ways of earth spirit medicine, and understanding it from a vibrational capacity as well as ascension medicine capacity. So there's like an herbal component, and there's a shamanic component, and within that births the spirit medicine, which is vibrational, ascension medicine, which are all new terms. And something that really helps with this workshop is understanding what is spirit medicine. So I have here something I want to share, because I was thinking about this. Spirit medicine and how I'm so grateful that I was gifted this term. Oh, excuse me, I have to turn on my power. Hi, thanks. So yeah, how I was gifted this term and what it really means, and I learned that, oh my goodness, this is fascinating. Like, I love wordplay, and to put a direction or a description to it is kind of silly, because spirit medicine is everything. And it's everything we've ever done. It's everything we've ever been. So for me to now assign it a definition was like blah, 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 blah in my brain. It's not my job. It's ours. We decide that. And everything is spirit medicine. And as I said earlier, we all have a spirit, everything, whether it's incarnated in a body or it is in a presence or an illumination or a vibration. It's a spirit. And therefore, spirit is medicine. I'll go in between English and Spanish, and I promise I'll try to do both, but it's just natural for me. And it's when I start to channel. If you ever sat with me in a channeling session, I speak a lot of languages, but you'll get them, I promise. That's kind of what we're doing. We're assimilating and integrating new things rapidly in new ways. And that's why we have this. El espíritu de la medicina. La medicina del espíritu. And in very old indigenous ways and languages that I haven't studied with a lot of indigenous people, I just know that we are all indigenous. We're all indigenous to the land, and we're all indigenous to the earth. We come from the earth, we return to the earth, and then we sprout up again from the earth, unless we've made it to our return home. And now we are full embodiment of spirit. Hence ascended masters. Hence spirit guides of the very illuminated light. Yeah, some of us will be there. Pero now, en este cuerpo, en this incarnate, I got a spirit that never lets me go, that always guides me, that is forever, ever, ever leading me. So spirit medicine includes and is, I have some notes here, so I'm going to read them a little bit. A consciousness endowed with life, the opposite of inanimate. Sounds pretty accurate. Medicine that comes from the earth, nature, it's free of artificial flavors. So we come from that which is natural, that which is nature, and all spirit comes from that. And that aliveness and that presence. And there's an idea here. And this is a question. This is more of an opportunity to help us think. The more we break it or a presence, a being down, a sentient being, right? Because these are sentient beings, and make it into pieces, the less pronounced is the spirit. Wholeness is key. Now, I must say that I have a bias in that statement. And I like to be really transparent about these things and very real. I come from the wise women tradition, and the wise women tradition of medicine, of healing, green medicine, right? The original healers of our time, is that when we work with whole systems and keep them in their wholeness, and they break down in their own form in our bodies or in our beings or with other beings, when we put them together, then that's their job. But when we start to dissect them and take out parts, like for example, now with the cannabis movement, how we take out parts of the THC. Some have THC, some don't. And I understand why, because some people can't have the visionary experiences. Those are very tough, and it makes a lot of sense. So I wonder if it's worth for us to think about those who are making spirit medicine, if taking out parts of it is actually reducing it, spirit. It's a thought process. I mean, I think it's worth thinking about and worth putting it out there and allowing us to see. So one of the things that was very clear to me was that spirit medicine is a whole perspective. It brings wholeness, brings oneness, and it brings assimilation and integration of all that we are. And I have another description here that I'd like to read to you as my phone loads. Okay. So what is spirit medicine? And this came out of an idea of spirit medicine consciousness, because we're moving in that way. And there is a consciousness around these medicines in this way that we are the medicine. an organic and natural process. It's a way. Engagement with the visible and invisible realms, an eternal sentient experience, being and consciousness happens simultaneously within and without. Impermanence. It reminds us of our spirit. Teaches through remembering and embodying birth, life, death, rebirth, and the cycles. That's much more of a concrete and much more very defined. The part where it says an eternal sentient experience, being and consciousness. I just want to expand a little bit on that, and then I'm going to move into other two parts. That eventually, from what I'm understanding, and what the plants are saying, is that we will start to experience sentient things, experiences, awarenesses differently. When we move into that place of eternal spirit, that place of I am, sentient experiences look different. We're not really using the five senses the same way. So that's something to also always have there, like in the little simmering in the stove, in the blessed cauldron that we are. So what makes spirit medicine medicine? And I really like this definition. What makes it a medicine? It offers healing to the three of the four energetic spheres: mind, body, soul, of all sentient beings, and eternally bridges the spirit, one of the four energetic spheres, bringing into wholeness and oneness every part of the being. So I'm going to read that. It offers healing to the three of the four energetic spheres: the mind, body, soul, of all sentient beings, and eternally bridges the spirit, bringing into wholeness and oneness every part of the being. Human, Hu stands for God, spirit, divine source. So the question is, what is spirit medicine consciousness? And spirit medicine consciousness is something that we're all doing. Spirit is an eternal quality. It pervades in all sentient beings. During the cycles of birth, life, death, and rebirth, spirit is present. The spirit is the only impermeable quality of a flesh and bone being. The mind and body eventually deteriorate, and the soul eventually reincarnates until it is ready to ascend permanently into its spirit. As goes the phrase, return home. The latter occurs when the soul has cleared, transformed, and evolved, usually happening various times through the cycles mentioned above. Hence the terms past and parallel lives. Again, all throughout a being's life, spirit remains constant, consistent, and present. So I hope this gives a little more of a breadth of understanding to what spirit medicine is, and to allow it to be something that is ever evolving. And as we evolve, it will evolve. That is why it's our medicine. We are the medicine. So with that being said, we're going to do a little bit of drumming. And if there's any questions or any comments, please put them in, and I'll happily do my best. And I'd like us to kind of come into space where we're going to visit and journey with our spirits. We're going to do a little bit of drumming now. We'll do a little short one since our time has been very interesting. Okay, good. Good. So this is Coyote Moon. I know you all have met her before. Oh, and look at them. We're going to drum together. I like this. Thank you. Wonderful. So we're going to journey to our spirit together in this drum and allow our spirit and the medicine that we are to come forth in us, and to open us to that presence. I'm not going to use the manic because it's very tender, and the spirit can be quite a tender thing, that eternal light. So I'd like you to envision or imagine going to above, to the place of your high light, of your pure divine source, and allowing yourself to expand in that way and to meet this energetic divinity that you carry, so it can start being embodied in as we come into communion with the plants and the earth medicines. So that being said, close your eyes, get comfortable, take a deep breath in, exhale out. Coming back into your body through breath. Bringing back the divine wisdom into your breath and bringing all that you've collected through your spirit journey back into your fingertips, moving softly back and forth, swaying to bring you in cosmically into the embodiment of your being. Slowly returning back in through breath and harnessing that. Harnessed at the end with that light language, the divineness of that. Bringing back in that fourth, opening you. Slowly coming back, gradually returning. Thank you, Coyote Moon. All right. So thank you so much for partaking in that and opening to that part. And hopefully that expansion of that spirit really brought you into that awareness of that which you are, and brought you into that experience of that cosmonality. So a deep imprint, a prayer for this time, this illuminated time, 1111 gateway. 1111. 11 is a master number, the first of the master numbers. So it's a gateway that we have every year because 1111, Blessed Veterans Day, to all of our people who have served in the armed forces. We love you, we're grateful, we thank you, and we're honored. And I look forward to the day that you serve us in other warrior days and that we are free of a need to bring forth any need to protect, but more a place of sovereignty and of wise divine knowing. And thank you for being those warriors who've come out to do that for us. And in the essence of, and in the celebration of this 11 gateway, it is that place where our soul, where we are walking to the illumination of our soul. We are, it is illuminating us, propelling us. This is a gateway, right? Think about it, you're walking through, right? And it's propelling us through to the depths, through this, to the knowing, to the soul wisdom, to this innate depth of what we've come to do on this earth. So 11 being the first of the master numbers is a really highlight time where everything comes into an integration, but also it is a time where as we are integrating these things that are new, to some of us that are old always, because we're just remembering what we've come to do here, it can be a little choppy. So when we bring in and we focus on the illuminated essence of it, and we use plants like Ginkgo Biloba, or I have a little bit of tricks here. Rosa, right? And Artemisia, right? That's what helps us. These are our allies. They bring us through and through that divine illumination. And so when we can really harness this time in our wisdom, as well as operating and embodying that divine light that is our soul's mission, and making it very practical and very tangible here in this earth realm, then we're moving ever so gently as well as rapidly. You've seen the rapidness this time into what a lot of us are talking about is ascension. And the prayer that came clear to me, and that clearly has been coming with these plans for a while, it's been waiting for this day. It's like spirit has been definitely waiting for this time, is that it's a prayer of eternal harmony between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And that is the divine feminine and divine masculine within us. And it was interesting how the divine masculine came in first, and how it kind of keeps coming up even when I write it, and even when I continue to do it. it seems like the divine feminine is the one that's been underlining there and simmering in a very wise way. The divine masculine, as we can see in our everyday life, in our media, in our current states of affairs with humanity, that the masculine is struggling pretty profoundly, and have been throughout human evolution. So it's not to say that they're in worse straits, or that the man, or it's free of comparison, but it is something to say that that part of us is the one that is really looking for a much more settled, a much more integrative space. And usually I've found it in my work with divine masculinity and divine femininity, that the divine masculine has a little bit of a harder time integrating and becoming into the wholeness. And what makes it that is the logic and the reason. And this is where this plant is very key, because it is masculine and feminine. This plant is very much that, masculine and feminine. And its grander masculine, divine masculine quality helps the integration process come in very smoothly, while still having that logic, while still having that clear thought process, while still having that very left brain experience. And there is a lot of good material out there that speaks very much to what is Ascension medicine, or Ascension times, or Ascension energy. And some of the ones that I invite you to look at that are favorites of mine are Lee Harris, Sandra Walter, phenomenal Sandra Walter. She's a teacher that I've enjoyed for a long time from afar. A high reverence for her ability to speak cosmic terms, ascension terms, and ascension medicine terms in very lay and very comprehensible ways. So I only pray that I can do that ever so moving forward in my human life experience here on Earth. Another very good one who is very down to earth, Andrew Martin, and Tanya Gabrielle. She's really has a very nice ability to bring in cosmic connections of the brightness and the joy and the eternal goodness in them. So you need those. And there's so many others, like Ascension Times, Ascension Magazine. There are so many others. Hey, Google, put in Ascension, and you're going to find a flood of them. So this prayer, and this prayer of eternal harmony and that divine masculine and feminine. Now, from a biopsychosocial perspective, which is one of the things that we do in the 2-day workshop a lot, is that we look at things from a micro, right, meso, and micro. So macro, meso, and micro. And this is a big thing, right? A prayer on 11/11 to have eternal harmony of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Some people will be like, that's not even real. But that's okay. That's what goals are. And my blessed teacher, professor in college would be so proud of me. A goal is grand. A goal is big. It's a macro. It is, it's almost unachievable in the eyes of science, behavioral science. But it is achievable through objectives and steps. And so we have this grand goal of eternal harmony in the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Then when we break that down, it actually starts, and I have this fun little chart that I did here. I mean, but it's very small. But it actually starts, and I hope you can see that. Mira, así se puede ver. These are my notes. So if you see here, it says macro. It says meso, and it says micro. And the macro is where we start, that big, right? But the macro actually moves from meso to micro. And the micro moves from meso to macro. So it's always this symbiotic experience. I can never have the grander if I don't have the smaller. And I can never have the smaller if I don't have the middle, right? Above, below, within, without. So when we're able to do that and we're able to envision in these ways, very pragmatically, very scientific, the way like my science people like it, then we're able to make it real and we're able to see it alive. This is why I like a moon medicine and candle work with the moon. Very real. That's maybe I'll do another teaching on that one. But it's very real and it brings it into our life. So this is where embodiment starts to happen. So we have that macro vision, and then we have the micro, right? The micro is us. The meso is our family. It's our small groups. The macro is humanity, society, these big systems, right? So I start with me. But I have the big vision. I have the large vision. Of course, I'm the big vision seer. We are the eagles. We are the hawks. We are flying like an eagle, high in the sky, circling the universe on wings of pure light. So that's our macro. But then we have that meso, that family, that place of really small, close, maybe medicine bearish, kind of like keeping it in the hearth, keeping the hearth warm. Then we have that micro, that within, that internal, that divine innate knowing. And that's where the plants help us. And these blessed beings, Ginkgo biloba, Artemisia, and Rosa, are going to do that for us. And let's talk a little bit about them. Throughout this, we're going to do some visioning as we move through them. I have a lot of information here, and I say we're going on our first hour, and I want to be really conscious to the fact that, again, all this stuff you can get online, and you can get it in any way. And it almost makes me want to bring out a little bit of the medicine. This is medicine from last night. I've never worked with these plants together. I've never done spirit medicine with them together. And they kind of wanted to come together. And it was so interesting for me that I had, been put on to talk about plants that I've worked with all separately, all individually, but never together. So here, cheers, and a little pause and breath to the medicine in the cup and the spirits that will heal, bring forth, and open my soul, my mind, and my body to all that is my spirit. Yeah, this one I also mixed a little bit of jengibre, like the other one that I have there waiting for us. It's sitting on the altar here. And we'll do that a little while later. All right. So Ginkgo biloba. I'm going to have to bring up my notes for this, people. See that? I'm trying not to cover my face or try to show them too much. So Ginkgo biloba. I don't know if you saw the video that I did. I have some posts too on Spirit Medicine Ways on Instagram. I have it on Spirit Medicine Ways on Facebook. This beautiful Ginkgo biloba tree. And we have a lot of babies around here, young males. Oh, I love males and young. They're like my little brothers. So it's so sweet to see them. And they're long, they're lanky. And these are young trees. And they're sparsely branched, And they have pronounced nodes. And the nodes are that part in where pine cones come from. Well, the cones come from, they're nodules. And from there, these are the spores that show that they're the masculine. The feminine don't have this. This tree, as I said, is masculine and feminine. It's the large tree, like an older tree, is large, vast, wide. It looks like almost split off. That's how big and immense. It's expansive. Keep that in mind as we talk about this. And I'm going to just switch a little gear. As we talk about these plants, keep their spirit properties in mind. Yes, take all this down, but really see and start to vision, because we're going to do visioning at each of them. And the elder tree, the grandpa trees, are very deeply rooted, and they're resistant. They're able to tolerate high winds, and they're able to tolerate snow and things that would fall upon them. Enormous trees, and they're ancient trees. They're actually known as the living fossil. And I'm going to try to explain this as best as possibly can in my lay understanding, but the family that ginkgo belongs to, Ginkgo biloba is the last species of its division, Ginkgo phyta. Then in the family that ginkgo belongs to, which is the Ginkgoaceae, is one of 5 families in the order, and it's the only family that exists. So it's interesting. Ginkgo biloba has almost been extinct. Hence why they call it the living fossil. However, it's also been with us. It's one of the oldest trees we have to date, and it's native to China. Very wise Chinese Eastern medicine ways over there. And it's used prolifically as food source and in ritualistic dinners and in celebrations and in Chinese medicine. So there's something to tell about this ancient wise tree that is longest living species known to us. It is also known as maiden hair tree because of its resemblance to the maiden hair plant. I see it because, as you can tell here, and I'm sure you can't tell, but this, there are some other ginkgo bilobas. We have a very beautiful one that's very important. In the little basket, this is, so you see all the goodness in this basket. We have ginkgo biloba in rosa. This is like a very soft presence, and I'm not sure if you can, I feel like you can see the texture there. And when it flows in the wind, it goes like this. It's like super delicate. And this is the masculine tree. And it's like flowing hair in the wind. It's gorgeous. Ginkgo biloba also has, right? Look at this beautiful heart. It spreads, it opens to the ginkgo biloba. And the leaves, as you can see here that I have, I'm going to come into my hair a little bit, they bifurcate. Muy bien, muchas gracias. That's exactly very good, right? They bifurcate. They open into 2. And you can tell by this little one, usually they're more pronounced. I've seen big ginkgo leaves that have opened into more. And this, the idea is, here we go. Look at this one already starting. Excuse me. See? A little split. And the idea is that that's how it works in the brain. It works in both halves of the brain, right? And in the fall, they turn bright yellow like this. And they say that this is the best time to harvest them. I've made ginkgo biloba medicine from green ones, and it's very good medicine. I have yet to make it with this because it's definitely a small window, and where I go and harvest, you have to get there right at that time. But I have them all over our blessed, what we call Vulgaris here, and it's our Hudson River. And I did a video on it Friday, I think, that I was by the Hudson River. And we have them all lining our pathway and our vision, our sight to New York City. It's very interesting, that one. And that choice of tree to put there. And they're almost all masculine. I have found some female, but most of them that I've seen are masculine. And so it breaks off into these. And there's an idea that they have been finding some leaves that break off into 3, actually, and have 3 creases, per se, like this one. So this means that it works with both the left and right side of the brain, right? But now we have some of them that are expanding into 3. So there's a theory that I totally subscribe to, that ginkgo biloba is so wise and so ancient that it's opening us to parts of our brains that we don't even know. I definitely would go with plant wisdom there. Would not even question it. That's me, though. I let plants lead my life quite significantly. I see plants as God, as we are God. So that's something I think about for you, a little like trivia kind of experience, a little jeopardy there. Plant medicine jeopardy. So the males have pollen cones and the females have ovaries. How beautiful, right? So the food, they're used for food and nuts, and inside the seeds, there are the nuts, and sometimes they'll do the whole seed. The seed, sometimes the seed has a protective covering that could be a little bit allergenic or intoxicating to some, but it's very much used. So they usually take off that covering of the seed and they roast it and cook it. And they eat them whole in Asia. Again, it's prized food. The energetics of this plant is space opening, airy, flowy, movement, expanded sight. Please keep that in mind. Timelessness, ethereal, bringing this blessed kind of light and wisdom. So I'm not going to go very much into it, but I do want to bring it in because it Ginkgo biloba and this medicine do very similar things. And they're both of the East, yeah? So this is the blessed medicine called Sananga. It's from the Amazon. And this also does what Ginkgo biloba does by way of eye drops. And we talk about this in the Herbal Plant Spirit Medicine class. We have a full Meet the Medicine talk, and we also do free Meet the Medicine talks all throughout, everywhere. And there may be one live one day, depends. You all requested, and maybe that'll happen. But this, like Ginkgo biloba, gives you circulation to the eye. And Ginkgo biloba, have you ever seen ginkgo eyes? Gives you circulation to the eye. It's a circulatory medicine. It opens up pathways in the brain and pathways in the mind. There is very little scientific data on this, but many herbalists and there is data on the circulatory properties and how it opens up that. I wanted to bring the Sananga in because these are very similar medicines and they are doing very similar things, and they are doing it by way of different forms. This one goes in your eyes and it can go on your body, and some people ingest it. This is not in your eyes unless they make a dropper out of it or they put it in a pill form. And again, the tincture does that. So it gives that space and it gives that air to open up. So when I open up, this is documented, circulatory for the eyes, nose, ears, and legs. Some will say the whole body. I'll go with the entire body from above to below to within. And it really supports the logic thought process. It supports improved intention, improved focus, improved direction, guidance, knowing, sustained energy level. Perfect example. I had Ginkgo biloba last night because I was working with the medicines that I made. And I was up a little late last night, this morning. I'm a night owl, so it's nothing new for me. This doesn't always have to do with this. But it kind of did because this kind of fell on my lap and didn't know it was going to be like this. However, that ginkgo, that blessed being in my body was able to sustain an energy that I was visibly able to experience. I was physically able to embody and to understand it by way of drinking it. Hence why we drink medicine, right? Because it communes with us. So it gives us that sustained energy. In addition to, right, everything has that harmonious part, and this is where the wise woman tradition is very important. And the part is if I have too much of it, it makes me super airy, off my ground, all over the place. Can put me on the other side, moving so fast, I don't know where I'm standing. This is the gift about these plant spirit medicines. They bring us into full divine harmony. They help us be in that space. And when we use them intentionally through spirit medicine, with prayer, that's what they teach us. And they'll teach us that anyway, because they're spirit. It's nice to add that component while we're talking to them, because then we start to hear them very differently. So in addition to improving overall quality of life, I read yesterday, and it makes so much sense to me, that Ginkgo biloba supports and is supportive in the healing or the treatment of schizophrenia. As I said, I have a history of psychiatric working in the field of psychiatry. And I love this field. And I believe that the medicines that I've been gifted are for this field very specifically. And that brought me a lot of joy, because Ginkgo biloba so that's the energetics, right? And that's like the knowing. So now we know that it helps with schizophrenia. And one of the things that it does is, from a spirit perspective, it connects you to the ancient wisdom and knowing that you are. Ancient wisdom. So if we look at schizophrenia, or these psychiatric manifestations from an indigenous traditional perspective, Earth Spirit teaching perspective, is that our body is trying to verbalize something and embody something that it is having trouble, right? There's a part of the soul that has been shaken up, that has been impeaced, that has been broken, that has still yet to fully integrate into love. And since in our society, our Western society, we've only understood it by way of treatment and trying to take away the voices, or that we've kind of suppressed it. So when we put in Ginkgo biloba into the question, even to support the Western medicines like Herbal and my goodness, I'm forgetting them naturally. So my goodness, Respirol. Okay, those medicines. When we put the Ginkgo biloba in addition to it saying that it supports with the side effects, because the side effects are many, it helps with lowering these manifestations that we see. That to me is profoundly curious and gifting, because Ginkgo biloba will start when worked, and we are learning to do that in our Western profession, to work from a spirit perspective. Then we have infinite possibilities there. And thinking about it from the divine masculine idea, that a good portion of men suffer or have come in with these psychiatric manifestations. And imagine having a divine masculine integrator in our regimens. That would be fabulous. So that has me very excited. One of the things that it's important to know, and it's important with all these medicines, that we always learn them. I invite the idea of the wise woman tradition to learn them one at a time. There is something to say for when I work with medicines in a single capacity. All the medicines that I'm drinking today, I have a long-standing relationship with. Hence why I think Spirit gifted this to me, because I've been working with them for a long time. And so they started to talk to me. And now I put them together and I understand what they're trying to say as a collective, right? So uniquely and then collective. And that is the wise woman way. We start with singles and we learn them one at a time, their spirit, their understanding, then we start to bring others in. And now we start to evolve this medicine cabinet, like the earth, like the trees. We start to evolve our forest. And that is the earth spirit teaching. One at a time brings in a plethora. Then I start to mix them like I'm that witch, right, with the cauldron. So knowing what these medicines also contraindicates is important. Ginkgo biloba is known as a blood thinner. So if we're taking blood thinners like aspirin, or something that's helping to stop coagulations or clots, then it's important that we either choose which one we're going to do. So that's an important part of the process. I just want to go through this little list of also supportive with astral traveling, with bringing in high cosmic light, deeply rooted. It's great at bringing in ancient, wise, cosmic knowing. So past life wisdom. I love Ginkgo biloba. And it is otherworldly. It connects us very. I remember when I saw this, and Ginkgo biloba in my last year as an herbal medicine apprentice, it took me to my last year ally. And I thought Ginkgo biloba would be my ally. And here I was so excited because I loved Ginkgo biloba. I was working with everywhere, and I totally knew it was my ally. I totally knew it. It had already told me. Psych, the joke was on me. It took me to my ally. And it was so wise, though, that a tree that I had already been connecting with was talking to me already to tell me where it was taking me. And I remember at that time, I realized that it was really otherworldly, and that there was really, I had yet to find a tree still to this day that does that. It connects us with the extraterrestrial, alien, if you want to call it, ancient technology in the sky, otherworldly beings so wisely. So I do recommend that, and I say that wholeheartedly from my own experience. And you may not find that anywhere written. Ancestral, connected with its deep roots and its old ways. It's seen like a living fossil. It's seen everything that we've had here. So totally ancestral. It's of the north and the east. I would bring it in very solidly to hawk and hummingbird medicine. So I want us to just take a little time. Any questions about that, please feel free. And just take a little time, and I want you to vision just a bit, closing your eyes, do a little visualization of the Ginkgo biloba tree swaying in the distance and the soft winds of changing winds, and how it's opening and bringing in an illuminated essence from your top. So you are the Ginkgo biloba tree. And on the top, its beautiful leaves are bringing in the cosmic wisdom into your divine light, opening your mind, expanding the breath, the circulation in your uppers and your lowers. It is preparing that divine feminine to come into place. So the divine wisdom of above that is shining bright light, opening you through air. Envision the air, expanding the mind, expanding the brain, opening up the presence of that knowing. Coming back in, that is Ginkgo biloba. I look forward to you learning it and sharing your experiences about it. Oh, Hanumuteo, Ginkgo biloba. So our next wise one, let's go right here, is Artemisia vulgaris. Hands down, that's my girl. She's in my Herbal and Plant Spirit Medicine workshop. In my apprenticeship with Robin Rose, she was my second year ally. And she's a real gift to me. And in The Gift of Healing Herbs, Robin Rose Bennett describes her leaves as in early spring as tiny and dainty. I love that description. And bright green, very innocent looking. And they have yet to become, right? Like they do as they become more mature. They have yet to become silvery, and that's what they'll do with age. And their green deepens in an olive color. So I'm going to show you here this blessed one who dried. So it's even interesting. I harvested this from my home, and the day that I harvested it, you'll see the video. It was super buoyant. And it shows because I've harvested this in the height of its beauty, of its polished state. And she's lasted as a living, I can put her in water and she'll be pretty alive. So as you can see, this beautiful leaf And you see, already her dry. And I have her in water. I put her in water as soon as she came in. It gets like silvery, grayish on the back. And then this front part deepens. And this beautiful medicine, she shimmers in the moonlight. She's a moon medicine. Shimmers in the moonlight. And if you can harvest her flowers in under moonlight, in her height of summer, and when she's coming in to her full beauty, it's a blessed moon medicine for the body, a tonic, really bringing in that womb, reproductive wisdom. Esta veita that looks almost right, falling over, also known as cronewort, popularly known as mugwort. I like cronewort. Mugwort's cool because it's a mug and it's a wort. But I like cronewort because cronewort actually speaks to the wisdom of the crone, which is the time of the winter in the directional experience, or as we know it as the medicine wheel. And the crone is wise, all-knowing. And the crone goes very deeply within to expand on what it already has done, collected from spring to summer to fall. Vroom. Brings it into the winter and expands it forward and brings it up after it has done all of its internal work into the spring. So this wise one will help us do that. So I invite this to be an ally now during the winter. It's also extreme bitter. So be aware of its bitterness. And that's extremely bitter is very good as a digestive aid. It's supportive in indigestion. It's supportive with helping things that are blocked move. It's a flower, so it's a quality of the West as well as the East because it blows in change and brings in change. Artemisia vulgaris is also associated with the divine goddess, Greek goddess Artemis. And I love this this lore, if you want to call it. The goddess Artemis is of the moon and of the chase. And she's also the guardian of women and children. So this is a beautiful woman and child medicine, very friendly. And it's also associated with Diana the Huntress and known as the Virgin Goddess. And again, this is one of my favorite parts of Robin Rose's write-up in The Gift of Healing Herbs. And it actually means virgin, the word. So it relates to a woman who is whole unto herself and owned by no one. That really is the divine expression of the divine feminine. And that is the divine feminine in all of us. And since this medicine is a reproductive medicine, right? So it works with our reproductive organs for the women. It supports smooth menstrual cycles. It helps with premenstrual symptoms. It helps with bringing regulation or harmony into the hormones. It, for men, it brings in a sense of clarity in that reproductive area, a sense of vision because it is a visionary. It's used for lucid dreaming. It's when smoked, it could be smoked, also purifying the air. It's also used in lore to ward off spirits as protective nature, to open up sight and to give the seers an ability to see lucidly into their dreams as well as dating. So it works all in that first eye that we have here, also known as the third eye. So it's of the quality of the West for the moon and all that reproductive stuff, and of the East, of the uppers. So here we go into this beautiful, on the directional space, a yin and a yang, an experience of both, not only one or the other, very harmonious. It also is used internally to remove parasites. Now that's wormwood, which is a different Artemisia. It's Artemisia. It's an abstinence. But I say that because Artemisia vulgaris is very high dosages. It will also work with supporting, extracting parasitic experiences in the gut, in the belly, to move. It's antifungal. It has, very nourishing and trace minerals. And for the nervous system, it has ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, beta carotene, which is vitamin A, and B complex. These are all B complex, extremely important for the nervous system. And vitamin C, we know, for immune support, and vitamin A for our skin. And it's a beautiful oil, and also oil for our belly to rub when we have discomfort, when we have the moon cramps, when we have any kind of indigestion. I do a lot of sobos on myself, and I'll offer them in healing sessions. If we come in for physical healing, a sobo with Artemisia, and it'll start to release very much that which is there. And that bitter experience actually helps to tonify the stomach. It's extremely bitter. So when you have it in tea, you have to do very small amounts. And I'll show you the tea, but I put very little Artemisia because you don't need a lot. It goes a long way. It tones and it strengthens the liver, helping with bioproduction. So I would use this and offer this as a supporter for digestive ills. And I usually start with the oil and then I move it into the body because it's really not that easy, and it's depending on where we are, because it has such a wise way of bringing us into harmony. Because again, it's that hormonal balancer. It's an all-arounder. You know, it really brings in that spiral, knowing and wisdom. When taken with other herbs, it's a spirit ally. It helps to make the other herbs work well. Very supportive for the lungs and cardiovascular. So if we're having a bronchial congestion, cough, can drink it internally. Also, when we burn it here, this is, I have another one there, but we're going to use this one. I have yet to use her. And when we burn her, externally, excuse me, it really brings this beautiful, wild, free experience. Ooh, it already opens up the ears. It opens up the vibration to sound. So bringing Artemisia in that form is extremely gifting. And using it, just even in burning it, creating sage smudge sticks, opens up to that place of wild and free, and she creates that experience within us. Very woodsy quality. Also very musculoskeletal supportive. If you make a vinegar of her, it's nutritious and nutritive to the bones and to the muscles. She sharpens intuition, clarifies vision. She aids in remembering and awakening, and moon wisdom. Does amazing shadow work with the presence of a strong warrior. She's a divinity of the earth, and known as the Gaia warrior, teaches us how to stand uniquely. And if you see her outdoors, teaching us how to stand uniquely, and as well as in community. So you'll see them that they often work together as one in that way. She's medicine of the West and of the East. And she's wolf and medicine bear, I would put her in. Actually, Artemisia is often seen with a wild boar or a wolf on her side, and bringing like that leader of the pack experience and energy. And Medicine Bear, because she brings in that intuitive, innate knowing. And she really is able to help you understand plants better. So from an intuitive, thank you, from an intuitive capacity. So when we use her with someone so blessedly or being so blessedly as Ginkgo biloba, then we really open up the full realms of our possibility. So allow us to go into this visioning quality and bring in, I'm going to burn a little bit, of Artemisia as we bring in this divine knowing. So closing our eyes, allowing ourselves to vision. Feeling and seeing the presence of a warrior. Allowing the moon to come into place. Allowing yourself to shine and see that moon within you, within your reproductive space. Remembering the intuitive wisdom that you have, sitting there in that area that often can be very clogged, that can often be very stuck, bringing Artemisia there, seeing the fluidity of Artemisia, the watery quality, as well as the airy quality, open up your reproductive center and open it to the expansion and the wisdom that it brings above to below, allowing you to stand free and wild, as well as wise and ancient knowing, connecting to that wisdom of the first eye, opening up your sight, seeing this vision of your first eye and allowing it to take you. Allowing your eyes to remain closed just for a little more, to see where that first eye vision takes you. Bringing yourself back in through breath. Coming back in. Blessed Artemisia, Vulgaris, Cronwort, blessings of her. Yeah, that's what we're going to keep her around. So now we move to Una Bella. And this is really the medicine of, that's so divine femininity, Artemisia, and divine masculinity, Ginkgo biloba. And now we have beautiful Rosa. My rose cup, Virgencita de la Guadalupe. Thank you. That's the water. And rose. We all know rose. It's one of household favorites and gift. There you go. Look at that. Gorgeous rose petals that came from my yard. And that rose tree was planted by my father. There we go. Look at that. And look at the beauty as they fall. Oh, yeah. So this beautiful apple family species often brings us so much delight and joy and wisdom of the inner child. This rose. And if you put it against your skin, and these are organic roses because they came, right? So they're not sprayed. Our reality is because roses are cultivated and experienced or really high demand in our because they're in high demand in our Western world, they're often sprayed. So if you're buying rose, I'm just putting a little rose all over my stuff now that we're on her, and she's going to bless us with our ending of plants medicine. we often have them sprayed. And so you can't really put them on your face. So it's important that whenever you're working with rose, buy organic rose and to make sure that it's coming from an organic source. That's a real statement. And Mountain Rose has beautiful rose. Jeans Greens has beautiful rose. And my sister, our blessed sister from Cutting Edge Stencils, Jana, has beautiful rose. And there's beautiful wild rose. So if you could find it, it has 5 beautiful little petals. And it's tiny. It looks very different. But it's a rose because you could smell her. I just did a beautiful hair assortment as I get a little bit distracted. Thank you for allowing me to do that. This is what I do. This is the witch's way. See that? The basket is not ended because it's all over my home. And maybe I'll take a picture if it looks. So most species, interesting enough that I learned, are native to Asia. And North America have some, and Northwestern Africa and Europe. They're usually grown for their beauty, as I said, and their fragrance and colors. And there's a beautiful story about, is it Afro? Yes. So it's a story of Aphrodite. And she brought the immortal oil and curative blossoms, and also of the goddess of spring and flowers. This is a Rome goddess, Flora. She requested, she found her love, her beloved nymph, transitioned and dead, and she had pleaded to the gods to bring her some source of comfort. And the gods, Apollo, gifted her breath of life, Bacchus, nectar, Vertimus, fragrance, and Pomona, fruit. And herself, she diadem of petals, a crown. That's what the word diadem means. It's a crown. So this is how the rose became in this folklore of this Roman goddess Flora, how rose became alive. I love that, the fact that it was made by gods. A lot of them were masculine gods, and they were doing it for a feminine goddess. And that's how the rose was made. What a gorgeous illumination of that, and an experience of man and woman, and masculine and feminine, and these energetic qualities that we understand. And there's over 300 species of rose. Most species have 5 petals. And the thorns that we call them thorns are actually called prickles. And these prickles are outgrowths of the epidermis. And these prickles are a beautiful reminder of how to be soft and gentle, but to sometimes have a little prickle, right? And if we know of spirit medicine and indigenous traditional medicine, is that dark and light are one. They exist together. We know that about all medicine. We always talk about that. So rose is a beautiful example of that, of the soft, delicate ways that you could even put on your face. That is so sweet when you put on your lips. Like really massaging and allowing yourself to feel it and putting it in your bath. But also, when you touch the stem, it can get you. So it's important to be aware of that, right? Of the both. It's not one or another. It's both. And it's very elegant and graceful and loving. And I have a really sweet story on rose. My grandmother, and like I said, my father planted the rose tree there. My grandmother was the original rose planter in our yard. Beautiful white, luminous roses. And she handed down this gift to my sister, who, the elder of my sisters, of my blood sisters, Judith, that is a rose connoisseur. It's a gift. And it's beautiful to see how Rose chose her. I clearly have a green hand. I have a green thumb, but her and Rose, and you let you know that that's her medicine. And Rose really is both the prickle and the heart opening, which is what that inner child is. And Rose is amazing inner child medicine. If we know anything about this 1111 gateway, it's really significantly about the inner child. The boy and the girl playing together in harmony. The sun and the moon loving each other all the way through within us. So Rose has an ability to do that for us and always adds that sweetness, that nectar, that peace, that divinity, that joy, that passion, really amazing passion and sensuality stirring. And we know that romance and grace and elegance. Also, rose is very restorative. It's restorative to the liver. It cools down a fiery liver and helps with anger. It is hormonal supportive. It's supportive for menstrual regulation and moon regulating. It helps with digestion. It supports circulation. So here we go. All of them are supporting circulation, these meds. It soothes the skin. It brightens it. It brings out the aliveness of the skin. It can has a lot of vitamin C, so it can soothe the throat. It can support bronchial conditions, coughs and colds. It is bladder and urinary supportive, right? It also aids in helping with insomnia and nervousness. Rose is very peaceful, and it brings a sense of softness. It's different than lavender, right? Lavender creates almost like a sense of extreme calm. Lavender. Rose creates a sense of peace by way of coming into our gender. Yes. And embodying the genders, all the genders. Rose is very good at integrating. It's a very integrative medicine. Hence why it falls right in the center of this divine masculine, divine feminine quality that we're talking about. And it supports in the medicine that we've created today, the spirit medicine. It's also very supportive, the hips, rose hips, right? So this is the petal, and from this petal, the little hip, which we all know very well. And they're very high in vitamin C, and they're used for jams and syrups. Thank you very much. So for viruses and colds and helping to keep us well through the season. And they're very supportive to the digestive. Also, rose water, we use it, besides it being aromatic and aromatic therapeutic, it is used to support the kidneys when we're run down. So it's a tonifier, astringent in quality, coolant, so it cools off the heat. And in limpias, rose water is very much used in indigenous traditional medicine. I love it. And it's used in even Eastern medicines, where you get ordained in rose waters and rose oils, and they put them on your first eye. So it's this beautiful experience of sweetness, of grace, of elegance, and bringing that back into us. So we use it for limpias, we use it to burn, we use it to bring back that sweetness of life and to re-invoke in a bath that that sensuality that we have as humans, and that it's beautiful that we bring it out to the forefront, free of force. It's completely free of force. Rose is so gentle, yet so strong, and keeps the space of boundary and the space of divinity and quality. So I'd like to bring you there, and I'd like us to close our eyes once again and imagine us moving into this place of rose. Allow us to smell a beautiful rose. Feel it. Feel the softness of the petals in your hands. Smell the aroma, the sweetness, the nectar that bees and hummingbirds fly to. And smell it. Taking a deep breath in and exhaling out onto that rose. your essence of rose, your essence, your sweetness, your nectar of life. Blowing it onto her and re-smelling it. And feeling her petals all over your body. Feeling it on your skin. Allowing Rose to grace your face. Allowing Rose to smile at you. Ooh, and touching her prickles. Feel the prickles. Oh, little touchy. Yeah, touch the prickles. To know that as a teacher of when we step in and when we step out. The child, the inner child, how it knows. Oop, I pushed too much, I got pricked. I have to move my head this way so I don't get pricked. I have to hold the rose here so I can hold it in its elegance and its divinity. Allow yourself to engage with that spirit of rose. Keeping our eyes closed softly for just another few seconds. Bringing the rose and her prickles now that you're holding her in the way that she likes to be held. The prickling is free, the softness is complete, and bring it to your body, into your center, into your entire being, and expand it outward. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that adventure with Rosa. Rosa is also connected to La Virgen Maria, the Virgin Mary de Guadalupe from Mexico. And the small story, the abbreviated version of the story is that Juan Diego, a peasant in Mexico and of this time of the community, Tepeyac in Mexico, was going to the hills, and the Virgin came to him 4 times. And in the first time, the second time, and the third time, she requested that he go to the local bishop and asked him to make a church to her. The local bishop kept telling Juan to go back, tell her to send him a miracle. So on the 4th visit, he couldn't go and show himself because his uncle got very sick. So he had to attend to him. And, he always told her, I'll be back. And she always appeared to him. So when he didn't go back this way, he had to pass through that part of the hill. And instead, he decided to go to another route because he didn't want to see her because he felt so bad and guilty that he didn't show up. But his uncle was sick. So Juan went another route. And guess who shows up? Of course, La Divina Virgen Maria, the Divine Virgin Mary, shows up and says to him, am I not your mother? Am I not going to care for you always? And she said, you go, you tell your bishop to make this church for me. And you'll see that on the next day, tomorrow, your uncle will be healed. He came and he told her. And he said, okay, what can I do as an offering? And she said, you going up to the hill and you're going to find this flower. She told him to bring the Castañina roses. And this is the dead of winter, right? This happened from December 9th, 10th, 11th, and then 12th. Dia de la Virgen de Guadalupe, 12. And he goes up there, and sure enough, the Castellana roses were there, and he picked them. And she was there with him as he picked them in this December date. And she assorted them in his cloak. So he went down to the bishop, and he said, Bishop, this happened, and this is real. And he goes, well, show me the miracle. He opens his cloak, and the roses fall to the ground. And a picture, an image of La Virgen de la Guadalupe, the Virgin Guadalupe, was in his cloak. And sure enough, the next day, his uncle was healed. What a beautiful story. I'm honored to be able to share that story with you and to share that gift of Rosa by way of folklore and as way of the Divine Mother, the Divine Virgin, the Divine Mother that we all have within us. So with that said, Thank you for journeying with these plants, and it is our time now, and listening to them from that very head heavy. There's so many things that I wasn't able to share, but there's only so much, right? And it's trusting, right, that this process lends itself to that, and that's why we do 2 days of this, because we go very deep in, and very much so. But I do want to share that roses of the south and of the north, and it's hummingbird medicine, that which bring joys and nectar, and yeah, and other ones. But I'm choosing these spirit guides because they're the ones that make most sense to talk about and pretty popular. So now we're going to see this blessed medicina. So this is medicina, mi gente, right? Buena medicina, spirit medicine here. We had a little bit of a party today, being this medicina. We made it. It is so infused with love and divine masculine energy, and it has a little bit of ginger. So that was new. I didn't add that. And not all spirit medicine has to be ingested. So you can have an intention and work with it from a spirit perspective and ingest them one at a time, because Ginkgo biloba, Artemisia vulgaris, they're a really interesting mix. So that was fascinating to me. So we're going to see how this one tastes. So we're going to open it up. And this is a pint jar that I just showed you there. And a little bit spilled over, but that's okay. And we're going to come here with our strainer. I'm going to finish the rest of this one. And a little gingery kick. All right. And now, this is a very small, and I'm going to try my best to do it here, but it may come over. So I'm actually going to do it this way. Let's see if this can work. Okay. All right. So I have my little table underneath here. So now I can rise it here. There we go. Mira eso. You can see that? Yeah. So that's beautiful. You see that top portion? That's rose. Right here. Put this here. Down. Thank you. That's rosa. You can see below here the Ginkgo biloba. You see little qualities of the jengibre. I just wanted to, to add it there. Right? These are all digestive aids, so there's definitely going to be some expulsion. And here we have, right there, a little bit of Artemisia. It's very hard to see through here, but here, this is cheers to us and our divine masculine and divine feminine coming into full eternal harmony. Oh, Mateo. We're coming to our end, and here we go. We're going to give so much great thanks to this process, and we're going to go in now very softly as we have our divines in our hands, and we're going to end with a luminous field journey. It's going to be shorter because we only have very little time left. So please, if there's any questions or comments, place them there. Some have come in. But if there are, I'll do my best to answer. So we're going to go into the luminous field. And the luminous field is that of our spirit. And we're going to go into the luminous field with our divine plant allies inside of us. And we're going to go into that prayer of eternal harmony, the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us. And that place of the inner child, boy, girl, both, that is there, right in the center of it all, right? And that stems, and from that inner child, and I'm going to do it here, right, comes the divine masculine out like that. and comes the divine feminine, out like that. So see that. So I would like you to create a space in your home or in your car. If you're listening to this or seeing this as you drive, right? Wherever you are live. And for all of us in this 11-11-11 gateway time. Closing your eyes, going into the luminous field. Walking and showing and entering into the realms, stepping further away from your heart. So going out from your front, extending that heart space outward. Out to the back, extending that heart space backward. Out to the right, expanding that heart space to the right. Out to the left, expanding that heart space out to the left. Extending that heart space now in a circular motion all around, all through your being, touching that luminous field around you, the luminous field of all that you are, the luminous field that extends out, above to below to within. See the spiral. See the beings that you're partaking with, the plant spirit medicines that are guiding the way, that are bringing in the full embodiment to the divine masculine, Ginkgo Biloba, of the divine feminine, Artemisia Vulgaris, of both, of all, Rose, Rosa, dancing with your luminous field, and in it, connecting softly with the vibration that's opening to your heart. Extending outward, backward, side to side, above, below, within. Seeing your field pearlescent, grow stronger, grow wider, grow expansive, yet bringing it closely within, being in both the within and the without. And in this luminous field is the harmony, the energy coming into that one space, that wholeness. Into that center. Full quality of divine love. Full quality of eternal harmony. Staying connected to your breath. The light source that is coming from without is within. That is opening to the realms, or the realms within our being. To the divine expression of all that we are, of all that we've come to do. And it's 11-11-11 gateway. To see our souls work through. Oversouling, overhauling. The divine masculine, divine feminine. Through the inner wise child, free and wild, bringing it to our truth. Pearlescent waves, the illuminous field that we are, expanding beyond our circle, beyond this sphere, into all the circles. Into the circle of life, to the circle of death, to the circle of birth, to the circle of death. Bringing back into breath and embodying it in this realm, in this knowing, the luminous field that is within, that extends without, that we are, that you are, that is that I am, that I am, that I am. Christ is faith, divinity, grand sphere. Bringing it to the face of all that you are. Coming back into your body through breath. Bringing in the breath into your high heart. Into your high heart. In the front, in the back, in the sides, and the sides, and above, and below. full embodiment. Calling to the wise ways of all that we are, to the spirits and the guardians, to the power animals, to the place of our luminous field, nuestra divinidad, nuestra sabiduría, the place of divine love and eternal harmony. We are ever grateful to you, plant spirits, master teachers, spirit medicine waves, earth medicine people, all sentient beings. Forever grateful to the ways of within, to the unique and collective knowing how we are, that we've come to shine herein. Forever grateful to the space of the crystalline knowing of above, the space of the infinite, cosmic, eternal space, the place of returning home, but that illuminates the way as we walk in the middle world. We're ever grateful to the space of below, the deep-rooted place of the core of the mother that shines bright, the ever-knowing light, wisdoms of the earth peoples, of the ancestors who we do not see, but that hold us grounded so that we may fly and soar in our soul's purpose, in our soul's knowing, in our soul's mission and wisdom. We're ever grateful for the divine light that you shine, that is our own, to bring to the darkness, to expand in the depths of below us. We're ever grateful to la medicina del norte, the northern ways, the northern knowing, the place of the natural organic plants, of earth medicines, green medicines, spirit medicines, the medicine that we've come to bring to show that we are, for we are the medicine. Ever grateful to the plants who guide the way, who allow us to ingest them so that we can become them, know them, and they guide us on this middle world, nourishing us, bringing forth the medicine that isn't within us, the ability to be like the soil, nourished, the ability and the wisdom of the rocks, the ancient knowing. That is our bones. We're ever grateful to you, wise ones. We're ever grateful to that of the South, spirits and guardians and power animals of all that bring the primordial light to remind us of the fire of the child, the wild and free, how Rosa brings in that wisdom and divinity to be expressed here on earth. Gracias, niño divino, niña divina, wild, free child, for bringing us into the harmony, into the cosmic knowing, into the integrative space of all. Thank you, primordial light that keeps us warm in the dark, that expands us out in our passionate qualities and allows us to embody here and allows that to go and to burn away so that we may rise from the ashes in our divine qualities. Thank you, blessed ones of the West, las medicinas de la luna, las medicinas tan divinas de nuestra alma tan purita, la almita la que ve, la almita la que sabe, la almita de los colores. Thank you to the bright brimming colors of our soul, the souls of depths, the souls of high, the souls of within, the soul that we have come to show, and Artemisia Vulgaris that allows us to move in the productive wisdoms, that allows our man and our woman to come into divine harmony and to express it forth in the divine feminine qualities. Thank you to Abuelita Luna, who shines bright in the darkness, who brings her darkness in the darkness and illuminates us from within. The grandmother wisdom, the ancient one in knowing that brings forth that place of strength, a warrior. Thank you for bringing in that courage that lives within the human. For that we are God, Goddess. Gracias, espirititos, espirititos y animales poderosos del este, the place of the air, the place of beginnings, the place of the sun rises that opened to us to show us that which we are, that opened us to the breath of life, the sacred breath of life that was given to us every morning, every night, every day, every moment, with every breath we take. We open to the wisdom that we are. Gracias, medicina del este. Ginkgo Biloba, who frees the mind of chatter, who opens it to its fullness, to its wisdom, to bring it into full embodiment, the mind. And that creates the pathways in the brain that connect us to the gateways of the astral, divine light, the ancient one, Ginkgo Biloba, the living fossil that expands out, that opens up the wings of our minds, allowing them to ever, ever be of breath, free of worry, free of anxiety, full of life and rebirth and life. Gracias, Medicina del Este, for illuminating the way and bringing forth the illuminated light that is us, that is whole, that is one. Thank you to the divine feminine and the divine masculine and the inner child within us, and all sentient beings that are coming into this ascended way of being and knowing. Gracias, gracias, medicinas. Gracias, gracias, caminito. Gracias, gracias, espirititos, animales poderosos de todas las clases, de todas las formas. It is an honor. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you for the courage to expand and show and to open up to all that you are and to be together on this day, to share in this sacred way, in honor and in all knowing, in gratitude. Ohan, Umateo, blessed be. Here it is. Cheers to us as I drink my little tea that we've created together. When we come back into space, I'm just gonna wait 2 to 3 more minutes before we say goodbye. Thank you for all of you that visited, that showed, that are here. And thank you to all of you and all of our spirits and our souls and our minds and our bodies. Sound integrates us and it brings in the particles that we brought from outside. So I hope that this sound has integrated you, and I hope that you visit us. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel Spirit Medicine Ways. If we get 100 subscribers, then we get to have our own name. Visit Spirit Medicine Ways on Facebook, and visit Spirit Medicine Ways on Instagram, and visit us through our website that's coming in 2019, Spirit Medicine Ways, and always available through email, spiritmedicineways@gmail.com. And visit us and all the beautiful services and offerings and gifts of the medicines, these ancestral medicines and indigenous and traditional ways. Thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon. And may we be guided in the highest divine light, and this 1111 gift us the greatest knowing. So much love, divine love, eternal harmony to you and to all that we are. Seeing you soon, and ever grateful for it. Mohan, Mateo, and blessed.